Welcome to the tutorial on how to make the Slider Revolution Theme Thumbnail Hover Carousel. So if you go to Slider Revolution's website and you click on Usage Examples, there are all these different sliders that you can have a look at. And if you've purchased your Slider Revolution from Code Canyon, you have access to all these different sliders. If you're like me and you get Slider Revolution with the theme that you've purchased or Theme Forest, you don't get access to all this premium content. So I was having a look at this website and I was looking at the different examples, and this is the one that caught my eye, the Theme Thumbnail Hover Carousel. And it's really awesome slider. So if you roll over these thumbnails, it takes you to that particular slide. And you can use this in so many different ways. You can use this on your team pages, meet the team. You can use this as a gallery, you can use this as a product slider. There's so many instances where you could use this, and it makes your website that much more awesome, if you ask me. So I'm going to show you how to make this from scratch, step by step, and then you'll be able to apply this to your websites. So the sliders made up of these little thumbnails that grow when you roll over them, and it also triggers the action that takes you to that particular slide. We have our main images here that they've obviously applied a blur to. There's also a transparent overlay, maybe 20% black, that makes it slightly darker. There's also a white bar that comes down that allows you to place these thumbnails in the white area and over the picture. So I'm going to refresh this page and just watch this area here animate in. See how it drops there. This is the edge of the actual slider, so you need this white space so your thumbnails don't get cut off when you place it right up against the edge. Okay, so I'm using Avada. I'm using the music demo. I've just installed the demo for the purposes of this tutorial. This is your Meet the Band, and this is really cool. I love the style of the team components that Avada have. But if you want to just change it up a bit and have something more like this on your site, it just takes it to another level. So yeah, so basically I'm in the demo, I've installed it, I have access to the media here. What we have to do is we have to start by creating the main image here, and then we have to create the thumbnails. So we're in the library. I'm going to take some pictures from here. I've already created a slider earlier, so I'm just going to recreate it for you now. So let's take this guy. What's his name? His name's Paul. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to create a new document. Let's just create it 600 by 600 pixels. Paste them in there. That's Sylvia. Or Sylvia. You want to leave a little bit of space here because the bounding box, the white box has to come over it. Then you got your thumbnails, and you don't want too much of the face being cut out. So unfortunately, Kuturo, you don't have your drums in the image. Okay. I'll spell that correctly. Kuturo. Kuturo, yes. Okay, let's just close that. I'll grab this guy here. His name is John. Who else can we grab? There we go. Sound guy. Michael. And let's get he's going to be the singer. We'll call you Frank. Probably too many, but hey, let's get these in place. Call him Matt. Alright, so I'm just going to save these. 600%, 600. His name is Paul. Main image. Let's call it big. Wait, actually, before I save it, let's have a look at here. These are all blurred, so I'm going to apply a blur to each of these layers. We'll do the first one. That's kind of cool. I'm pausing it now, and I'm going to blur the rest of the images. Okay, so I've blurred them all. I'm going to save these main images. I'm going to pause it while I do that, so I don't want to waste everyone's time. See you in a sec. Okay, so I've saved the main pictures. I've removed the Carousel blur. Let's create the thumbnails now. So we'll make it 150 pixels. 150 pixels. Okay. Now I'm going to save the thumbnails. I'm going to pause it while I do that. Okay, so that's saved. Let's go back to the site. I created a slider there. We're going to create a new one from scratch. So hit new slider. Let's give it a name. I'll call it band carousel slider. Okay. So you want to click on the carousel slider over here. That's the third option. If you click load a preset from the slider, you've got access to all these different types of sliders. Now we're creating a custom one. If you have a look at these with thumbnails, that one there, the flat infinite thumbs, we've got a cover flow full screen with thumbs, we've got thumbs at the side there, we've got thumbs at the side there too. You don't want to use any of these because these are built in and they don't work with hover. You actually have to click on them, so we're going to ignore these. We come down here to our settings. We want to make it a full width, so it occupies the full width of the screen. Now this here, you enter the size of your your main image, which is 600 by 600. We're going to do a custom mobile, so I'll explain a little bit later why we have to make it custom. Let's set it to 480 by 480. Let's save that. Okay, I actually just want to go back to settings. Your navigation, you can have arrows on if you want. I am not going to put them on in this tutorial. It's a simple setting if you choose to use it, but we're more interested in the carousel settings. We want it to have infinity scroll, so it'll just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. This will display the different elements on the slider. I want to choose 5. If you have 3 and they're not wide enough, on larger screens you'll see white space on the side. So let's save that. Let's go to slide editor. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first slide fully complete. I'll do the thumbnails in the global layers area, and then what we do is once it's completed, mobile version as well, then you can duplicate it, and then it's a quick edit of each of the other slides. So we're going to start with the first person. Let's start with Frank. Okay. I'm going to choose the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag these in one by one. Let's just do that, because I want the order to remain the same. Okay. Next we're going to do thumbnails. There we go. So where are you, Frank? There you are, Frank. 600 by 600. We're going to be inserting you. There we have it. Save it. Now we're going to go to our static global layers. Now this basically allows you to insert anything and all appear on all the sliders. So it's like a global layer. So if you just select Frank from there, it puts in the background image, so you can visually see how your slide is going to look. So we're going to start with the white bar that comes down here. I'm just going to refresh this page for you just to remind you. Just watch this bar slide in. So that's what we need to put in place. So we'll add in a shape. We will give it a width of, I'm putting in 3000, maybe that's a little bit much. But when you're dealing with your really large Macs, your 27-inch desktop Mac, you want to provide for larger screens as well, so there isn't white on the side. We're going to make it 75 high. Since our thumbnails are 150 and you're placing it halfway through it, that means it should be 75. You want to match the background to the background that you're working with. And on this page we want this gray color, so the background color is that. Let's copy that, place it here. %. Thank you. And add that. Okay. Let's center it and then line it to the top. So it's line centered and then to the top. Okay. Now we're going to add our thumbnails. Let's add an image. Start with Frank. Okay. Let's name Frank. Now we want to apply the hover effect to this thumbnail. When you roll over it, it increases in size. So click on the Style tab, click onto Hover, and where it says Layer Hover, turn that on, and you got your idle and hover. Click on Transform, and make it 0.5. So we're making it half the size. Then you click on your hover state, click on Transform. Now, for some reason in Slider Revolution, if I leave it on the original size, 1:1, it doesn't animate for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's a glitch. So what I do is I press 1.01. It's the smallest that you can increase it by. Oops. All right. Okay. One thing that I didn't do, we click on the hover here, and let's just give it a time. Let's give it 300 milliseconds. Yeah, that's nice. See, there we go. We've got the hover in place. Okay, so let's just move this to the side. Now what we're going to do, let's just align this to the top. There we go. We'll duplicate that. Okay. Bring in the next one. John. Alright, label that John. Duplicate John. Throw. Label him. Duplicate him. I'm going to pause this and then duplicate the rest, and I'll see you after that. Okay, so I've added all the thumbnails. I duplicate them and then replace them, and then I've just basically taken this one, which is a center one. I aligned it center to the top, and then I placed this to the side of it, minus 112 pixels, and then this is 112 pixels positive, 224 pixels. Then this is minus 224 pixels, as you can see there. And then Sylvia's 337 pixels to the right, and then to the left, minus 337 pixels to the left. So we have them in place. I'm not going to add any actions yet. We'll get to that. Let's just save this. We can preview it. Just have a look. And there we go. Looks pretty cool. You can change the animation speed if you wish these to be a bit slower or faster. You can't see my cursor, I don't think, because of the screen capture program. But if you want to add a hand to highlight that it's a link of some sort, you can change that over here. So if you click on styles, you click on hover, then you go to this tab where we change the speed. You can change this to pointer. Change it to pointer. It's really up to you. You can make it whatever you want. I just prefer to have it as a pointer, even though it's not a link. So let's save that. Now we're going to get on and build this first slide. So click on Frank. We've placed this background image in, and if we come here, we've got our hovers in place. Can you see how it goes slightly dark after you hovered? Dark. There's a little transparent layer that just makes it slightly darker, just so it stands out a bit more. So let's go and do that. Okay, so let's add a shape. Give it a background of black. Let's make it 20%. We can always tweak it. Don't know why. Okay, that's correct. 600 by 600. That is the size of the slide. Align it to the top. Align it to the center. There we go. Alright, let's just give this a name. I'll call it 20% black overlay. Okay. Now we want to add in the title of the person. Let's add some text. First person was Frank. Let's just leave. I'm going to leave it at open sans. We'll make him bold. Let's see, 48. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's center you. Center, center. Okay. I'll add in some more text. I'm just going to get some lorem ipsum. Give me a sec. Okay, make the lorem ipsum site. Let's grab like a line of code, text. Get back here. Call this dummy copy. Right. Make sure you align it. Center, center. You want to align all the layers the same. So as when it scales down for mobile, it doesn't like go out of sync. If you've aligned everything left, line everything left. If you aligned everything center, try and align all the layers center if you can. It just scales proportionally. Just you could just try that out. You know what? I'm going to add in another couple of sentences. So we click on that layer, edit it, so to paragraph spacing or line breaks, edit BR. Okay. Before we do that, click on style, click on this arrow to get more options, and then I think it is on border spaces. Okay, spaces, center line copy. There we go. Now I can edit it better. So it is. There we go. Okay. There we go. I'm going to make it smaller, 17 pixels. Close. Leading. Let's try 20. That's alright. Maybe we'll put in the paragraph space. So let's put in another line break there. Okay. Okay, so we got our text in place. Let's animate this in. Let's animate the overlay first. So you click on the animation tab. You can just have it fade in. You've got all these different options here. And give it 800 milliseconds. And then once that's faded in, we can animate the text layers. So, let's just call this dummy copy. We already did that. Okay, dummy copy. We got it in our layer. So we have a black layer, 20% black. We've got Frank, the title, and then we've got the dummy copy. So the overlay will animate in first, and then the next two layers will animate. So you can edit it there, or you can do it up here. So let's animate Frank. The title, we can have it short from the top, which is quite nice, simple. Make it 1 second. Once that's animated in, we can animate the body copy. So let's that's quite nice. 2000. Alright. But we don't need to make him 2000. I'll make him 1000. You can just edit that. Type here 1000. That's the duration. And the frame is obviously where it starts in the frame. You can start at 17. Okay, let's save this and let's preview. Okay, the thumbnails are not showing because it's in that, it's only focusing on this layer. Okay, cool, that's in place. I know the example has these social media icons. I'm not going to put that in. You can. You create these exactly the same as you created these thumbnails. When you hover over them, they increase in size. Start with the full size, and then, so that would be your image that you save, that size there. Then, when you come here, remember we went to the style layer, we went to hover, we turned this on, okay, and when you hover over it, it changes. As you can see, it changes to black, but we're going to turn that off. Then we went to transform, and I just halved the size, so I made it 0.5, which is 50% of the size of this. So that's 50%. That's 1.01. Okay. So next we're going to put this for mobile. So that is the area for mobile phone. You can't change the formatting of the dummy copy in terms of line breaks, but you can change the size. and it won't affect the full size. So let's make it 15. Let's make the leading 18. Frank, I reckon Frank can stay the same size. You can change the size of the overlay to 480 by 480, and that's the exact area of the mobile phone, and hit save. Now, if I click on the global layers and I am in mobile view, these thumbnails are going to get cut off, because if you scale down to mobile, you're only seeing this area. On a desktop, you're seeing kind of like it's a wider screen. So we want to reduce the size of the thumbnails for mobile phones. So if you click here, as you can see, it needs to fit into that area. Okay, so we can make each one 100 by 100. Alright, I'm going to pause it and do that. I made the bar here 50 pixels high instead of 75. So I've reduced these all down to 100. Now all we have to do is space them out properly. So I'm going to pause that and I'll see you in a sec. So I've spaced them out, and as you can see here, this is going to get slightly cut off. I can make these slightly smaller, maybe make them 90, and it should fit in perfectly. I'll do that quickly. I'm going to pause the video and just adjust it. Okay, so I've reduced them to 90 by 90. This is in the center, aligned center into the top. All of these are. And this is 67 pixels from 134 pixels and 201. And then these are just the opposite. So we have that in place for our mobile version, and then this is our full size. Okay, let's save that. Okay, so now what we do is we are going to duplicate this. So we go up to the slide, we duplicate it. Okay, we change the background picture. Wait, before we do that, we have to make sure that we're on this slide. As you can see, this is black, or dark gray. That means that's selected. Click on that to go to it. Now you can see this is selected. Now we're going to change the background image. Okay, the first one is Frank. Now it's John. Change the name here to John. I'm just placing it in there, and I'm hitting enter on the keyboard. Alright, come down, change the name from Frank to John. Alright, we can leave the lorem ipsum in place, and that's done. Mobile phone, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to duplicate all of these and edit them. I'm going to pause the video and then we will continue. Okay, so I've duplicated all the slides, gone and inserted their name. I adjusted the spacing here between Sylvia and copy. We changed the, I'm just going to the global layers area. Remember to select any layer here. You'll be able to select any of them, just select whichever one you prefer. On the mobile, I reduced these to 100 pixels by 100 pixels, a little bit too big, so I made them 90 by 90. So I'm just going to adjust this bar to a height of 45, so it's directly in the center of these thumbnails. So now that we've created all the slides, we've created them for mobile and desktop, we want to create some actions for the thumbnails for when you roll over it, you want it to go to that particular slide. So what we do is we click on the thumbnail that we want. So we'll start off with Frank. We click on Actions. We click a new action, and we want it on mouse enter, which is hover. Then we want to select jump to slide, and then we want to select Frank. You can give it a delay if you wish. Then we do it for John, mouse enter, jump to slide, and then select John. Same with Kuturo, jump to slide, and select him. Paul, and lastly Sylvia. Cool. Hit save. Let's preview. Okay. Okay. So, if you click on mobile here, as you can see, now these fit in. Animates, only shows one. Now it's feeling a bit. Okay, I want to put a delay. Ooh, should have done that. Okay. So that's the slider. You can tweak it. I should have put a delay on the animating end of the overlay, but I've already gone and created all my slides here. So maybe it's best to just tweak the one until you've got it perfect the way you want, and then start duplicating your layers, the slides, different slides. Okay, so now we want to insert this into a page so we can have a look at it. So this is the current Meet the Band page. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clone this page and then take this out and insert that. So let's edit it. Okay, I've installed a cloning plugin to allow me to clone the pages. So I'm going to clone it. Okay, Meet the Band. So I'm just going to delete these. Person, modules, whatever you call them. We'll insert one. I'm totally lost there. Don't know what I've done. Delete that. Okay, there we go. Now we want a revolution slider. And we want to select the band. So let's just make sure there's 100% width. Okay. That's fine. Alright, let's publish the page. Let's view the page. Okay, and there you have it. So this is the difference. So it kind of just makes that section awesome. So I'll just show you the one that I created before this video without the bad background. It's very similar, it's pretty much exactly the same. This is band. So as you can see, I've put a delay on this overlay, which is a bit better. Works exactly the same. This is just a button, and it takes you to the original page. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just go to Frank and I'll show you how to do the delay if you don't know how to use Revolution Slider, if you're following this from the start. So we click on the Frank slider, we go down and we select the overlay, which is over here. As you can see, it starts right in there. All you do is you change the start time to whatever you want. So let's make it 1 second in. We'll just drag these and place these there. And we'll save that. That was me. And okay. So this was the original one that I did, and the new one that we have just created. Go there. Okay. So we'll go to her, and let's go back to Frank. Slight delay. There we go. Maybe I'll just make this 50% so you kind of see. So to change the percentage, you click on Style, click on the arrow to bring down the options, click on Background, and then you select the color. So I've made it 50%, so it's quite a bit darker, and maybe we can see the transition a bit better. Has it saved? Yes, it has. Let's refresh this page. Okay, there's also something, as you can see, it's a bit darker there. There we go. So, you just play around with what you want to do. There's one thing I noticed, that I did not animate this bar in. So let's go back here. Let's go back to global layers. Okay. Select that bar that slides in. Click on animation. And what we want to do is slide from the top. Yeah, that's good. Let's hit save. But there is one other thing that I want to do, is I want to delay these thumbnails. So click here and make these 1 second each. This is the animation in. Make it a second. So I'm clicking on each layer and I am changing that there. So to delay this, okay, well, pretty sure that we're sitting at 1500. I don't know why it still says 300 here. So let's make it 500 and 1500, which it is. Okay. Then we'll do this. You can, I'm just randomly putting them in and I'll show you what it does. It's not perfect, but it will work. Let's just give the animation a little bit more pizzazz. Slides in and thumbnails. I'd speed it up a bit, but I'm not going to do that now. So there you have it. There you have your thumbnail slider carousel. It works just like this. Obviously they've sped it up a bit, I've slowed it down a bit, but these are all things that you can play around with and get it to how you want. And there we go. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you use this in your websites, and I hope it comes in handy. Till next time, cheers.